All right, boom. So this is how we trade the news. We go to forexfactory.com, of course, blah, blah, blah. Then you're gonna look for orange folders, red folders generally. We had an orange folder, flash manufacturing news, flash manufacturing PMI. Actual greater than forecast is good for currency. So we're always gonna see a forecasted amount. The forecasted amount for this period coming up at 4:30 a.m. In the next few hours is 59. If that not whatever this actual number ends up being, if it's higher than 59, that's positive for the currency. So it should make the currency go up. If it's like this, where on this date, July 23rd, the forecast was 62, actual was 60, generally is negative for the currency. So it brings the strength down. So the way we trade the news, of course, we go and do a look at outlook of orange folders and red folders. And if we see a lot, like in this example here, we see a lot of orange and red folders. Generally, that means that that pair is going to be volatile. And what they're seeing, GBP and EUR, London session and New York session definitely going to be volatile from 3 to probably about 8, 9, with all this going on, especially with these being the main two pairs for London session. So, boom, we go back here. If we want to just kind of do a back test, we go to August 23rd. Already got it pulled up here, August 23rd. Same thing. We're going to go to our chart. We're going to go back to August 23rd. It's August 23rd. Make sure I'm on the right date. August 23rd. Okay. That's September 23rd. Tripping. August 23rd. Yeah. Why did I circle this? Circle the wrong thing. August 23rd. My fault, y'all. Y'all didn't even tell me. August 23rd at 4. August 23rd at 4:30 a.m. Y'all made me circle the wrong thing.
Oh, that's the 24th? I didn't notice.
Y'all don't love me.
Dog on sure thought it said 23rd. So I was like, what is he talking about?
It did. Yeah, when I did it on the daily, that line, that line dropped in the right spot. 4:30. All right. So here, this section here. All right, boom. So we're gonna go back in time. We'll start at 4 o'clock. And let's drop down to our 15-minute chart. We knew news was coming at 4:30 a.m. I'll plug my computer in because it's about to die. All right, there we go. So we know news is coming around here, 4:30 a.m. Depending on how it comes out, of course, is depending on how the currency strength is going to be. So normally when we trade the news, let's see which candle, 4:15. So we're going to trade it off of this candle here in this range. So what you want to do right before the news gets ready to drop, so right before this candle, normally I do it on the previous candle, the previous 15-minute candle. So when I start looking, I'm going to come and I'm going to box this range up right here. So normally they tell you to look at the last high and the last low. I like to look at the overall range of this price action that we got in this little zone right here. So boom, of course, y'all can clearly see this is the level that we got, right? Everybody see that?
Mm-hmm.
So this is where price has been ranging. So from here, what you would end up doing to play the news, you're going to put a buy stop and a sell stop. So some people, they literally are going to do it right off of the zone. I learned it's best to do 10 to 15 pips away. So of course, if we're looking at putting a buy stop, we're going to look at putting it at 36.66 roughly. So I will have a buy stop up here. That's going to give the market a little bit of room to breathe because sometimes it's going to just run 36.66, a little bit more. Right there. And so I would have a buy stop here. And then I would have a sell stop down here. This is what, 36.41, so 36.31. It's funny how these are actually in the same zones that my Fibonacci from what we've been looking at recently is on.
Right.
It's crazy, right? See, the market repeats itself. You can't make
Definitely.
stuff up. This Fibonacci is really programmed into the market.
Okay.
So boom, I got my entry price down here for my buy stop, and I got my entry price down there for my sell stop. So whichever way the market goes, because we don't know if it's going to be positive or negative, we should get an activation. Now, some people will literally play this. You can play it a couple different ways. Let me slow down So when you doing your lot sizes, proper risk management is always the major key. At one point in time, me and my brother Tony Scott Jr., we literally had news accounts though. And in our news accounts, we would trade.
Hello? My computer tripping?
Nah, it's him.
Oh, okay.
We can't hear screens. He just cut off out of nowhere.
It looked like his computer froze or something. His mouth's not even moving no more.
Oh yeah.
Technical difficulties.
I thought he probably still talking. He probably don't even realize it.
Oh,
They
we
kicked him out.
lost him completely. Oh, there you go. He back. It was just getting good.
What was the
I
last?
know.
You were talking about you and Tony Scott having news accounts.
All right, perfect. So of course, like I said, if you got a news account that you just traded news in, you can over leverage a little bit, but ultimately you can set your take profit 10 to 20 pips up, stop loss 5 pips down, and you can easily hit take profit. Or you can have it set up to where if you're watching it like you should be, if you're trading the news, you can close partials, move your stop loss up in profit or to entry, and then let it run. Because normally once it starts running one way, it's going to either keep running that way or it's going to come back and correct. So boom, 430 came. Let me go back a little bit because I went past it when we timed out. Want to go back? Can we go back, please? Can we go back? Back the candle. Back candle, please. Please go back. 430. All right, we almost back at 430. All right, let's play from there. So we're gonna play this thing out. Just the 430 candle. All right, perfect. That's 445. So news is called now. So generally, news from when it's actually supposed to come out can take 15 to 30 minutes to activate. Sometimes it will activate immediately. So 430 candle didn't do too much. Give it a little bit of time. And of course, we start to see the reaction. Boom. We ran up first. We're still pushing up. This is why you don't want to set it right at the entry, because sometimes it'll literally go up. It will turn you on. Now you pulling back. Boom. Now you got both orders activated. Now, like, oh my God, what is going on? You want to give it some space. You want to give it some breathing room. Literally, it came all the way back down. Almost turned our other order on, but it did. Just kind of doing this thing now. Saucing up, saucing up, saucing up. Now, at this point, generally, you want to actually already be out of this. If we hadn't seen this within that 15 to 30 minutes, we want to be out of it. But of course, if you still do happen to leave your pending orders in, if you think about it, the momentum from whatever was going on is still going to give that momentum. And if it's going in the direction of our trend that's already going, generally it's going to keep running. So of course we see with this one, it would have activated us and really ran up pretty quickly. Let's see, boom, 30 pips real quick. Minimal drawdown, it didn't come back, it's just running, right? It's just running. It's probably gonna run to our 4-hour zone. So of course, if you're a zone-to-zone trader too, we already got, you know, another take profit in place, 60 pips right there. So boom, that's generally how you're gonna play the news. We can look at the next setup real quick. And let's go back to our calendar here. So we know that this PMI news from August 23rd, that's how it reacted. We can go back and look at July 23rd real quick too. Let's see. Then we'll look at the next folder. Generally, I like to look at least two, the most recent two, just to kind of see what price did around those dates. July 23rd here. All right. Let's hit our replay button. It'll take us back in time. Let's drop down. July 23rd. What time did the news come out that day? Go ahead, turn me up, turn me up. Let's see. July 23rd. I'm on the 22nd. We'll be doing that. So let me go back this way. This way. What time did the news drop? Is this the 23rd? Yeah. July 23rd, 4:30 a.m. Okay, same time. 4:30 a.m. July 23rd is going to be here. All right, so let's just speed this up real quick. We're going to follow our steps. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Boom, 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 boom. We'll see what happens. All right, boom. So we have 4:30. So remember, we're going off the previous candle. So two different options. You can look off your previous candle and you can find your range, your high, and your low. So this would be my high and my low. Off of that last candle, high is up there, low is here. So I got my zone now. The other option is people say from the last candle, you can go 10 to 20 pips to, 10 to 15 pips. So they say you can look at the previous candle from your candle before the news. So I'll go to this candle here and I can count 10 to 15 pips up and I could do it that way. I like doing it this way though, personally, but of course, you know, y'all try out, see what y'all like. So boom, we got, what's this? This is at 37.56. So we're gonna go down to 46. Entry there. Well, not entry, but that's where you put your sell stop, buy stop. You'll put your buy stop here, 36.77. 36.77. All right, news comes. What we got going? Same thing, took a little bit to activate, ended up running down. Running down. And then let's go back and look at this part real quick. Y'all can see that's pushing. So on the 23rd, it was positive. So it was good for the currency. It gave it strength. So of course it ran up. 23rd of July, it was negative. So it was bad for the currency. So it made it weaker. So it pushed down on that pair. And generally I like to look at the, if I'm looking at GBP or EUR, whatever, I like to pair with USD just to get a good standpoint. Of course, you can look at, you know, the other pairs that traded with GBP, GJ, or whatever you look at, GA. Normally, it's going to react the same as long as the news is pretty significant. But for the most part, y'all should get the gist of doing that. Let's see what happened. Boom, boom. Okay, this one came back. It gave us, like I said, our 20 pips or so roughly. Yeah, 25. It would have gave us our 25. So you would have hit TP.